New Jersey, Atlantic City. Who do you support?
I'll plead the fifth.
Trump for the win.
Tell me why.
I can't really call that right now, but I just feel like she's not good for president. She's good vice, but not for the actual lead role for the country.
Does it have anything to do with being a woman?
No. No, because I feel like women, nah, you're not going to give me that.
Your money's on Harris.
Yeah.
Who do you want?
Trump.
Why don't you like Harris?
Oh, she don't have any experience.
She's the vice president. She's a senator.
Yeah, no experience. No. She has no experience.
Well, I want Donald Trump. I just feel we need somebody that has a stronger background with the military and the world in general.
She was a prosecutor and attorney general, and a senator, and a vice president. You're in a gambling town. Who's your money on?
I'm going to support the Democratic Party, but, I mean, Trump looks like he got it in the bag right now.
4 years ago, it was a lot better. I made a lot more money than I do now.
I know you feel that way, but that's not actually what the record shows. The economy is actually better under Biden. No, I'm serious. That's what the facts show.
Okay, you know what?
No, that's not because I watch CNN. Trump or Harris?
Trump.
That's who's going to win.
That's who's going to win.
Who you support?
I support Trump. All the people that came to this country legally, it's not fair that they're letting all 10,000 to 15,000 people or 20,000 people here illegally. Have you seen San Diego? Yeah. They're coming off the boats, off the water right here, off the ocean. Did you know Biden was flying them in? Did you know Biden was flying them in? You didn't know that?
Oh, I know nobody likes him, but we had good times with Donald Trump. Our economy was good. Life was good.
But you know the economy's better under Biden than Trump.
Bullshit.
Well, that's what the stats show. That's what the facts show.
Well, you know what? I don't know where they're getting their facts, but I don't think they're valid. I don't know where their facts are coming from.
Yeah.
That's the ultra-repulsive Don Lemon, the ex-CNN news anchor, getting cold truth splashed in his face from New Jersey voters to boot. And we're going to see that it's not just New Jersey. Another deep blue state is turning into MAGA country, all as the latest polls are shifting back towards Trump. You're going to absolutely love this. Hey, gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your patron professor, here to help you stay sane in these insane times. So you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe. And also, you know, with all the chaos that's breaking out all around us, are you prepared for handling medical emergencies if things were to really go awry? Well, now you can be, thanks to the Wellness Company. They've given me and my family the peace of mind to handle any medical crisis, from tick bites to the next pandemic. The Wellness Company's medical emergency kit is a true lifeline. It's chock full of essential meds like ivermectin, antibiotics, antivirals, and more. This kit gives you real peace of mind for this area of preparedness. And the Wellness Company is a team of renowned medical professionals, including Dr. Peter McCullough, Dr. James Thorpe, Dr. Harvey Risch, and even more truth-seeking doctors. This medical emergency kit that they've designed, it sets the gold standard for safety and prevention. So don't wait until the next crisis is here. Get peace of mind now by visiting twc.health/Turley and use code Turley, and you're going to get an exclusive $45 off and free shipping. You heard that right. Use promo code Turley, and you're going to get $45 off and free shipping. Gang, I've got my emergency pack. Now it's your turn. Click on that link below right now. Now, what you just saw there was Don Lemon, whose personality was once best summarized by Tucker Carlson. He said that Don Lemon is a man that ought to be constantly embarrassed by how he conducts himself publicly, by what he says and does. This is a man who everyone around him knows he ought to be embarrassed, but he never is. That's sort of the comical jester role he plays. But as you saw there, Don Lemon got confronted with some brutal reality in New Jersey, no less. That nobody buys the talking points, the rigged data that the managerial class tries to pass as factual reality. And they're all voting for Trump. And what's so hilarious here is that it's not just New Jersey. Check this out. This is from over the weekend. Now, if you're listening by way of our 20 million podcast downloads, what you're seeing here is a huge, and I'm talking huge, Trump train full of tons of cars driving down a highway. It's very impressive Trump caravan that stretches as far as the eye can see. But what's even more impressive, gang, that happened over the weekend in California, the bluest of blue states. This is California's Highway 101, and this was a pro-Trump caravan headed towards Paso Robles at the coastal center. And remember, to add insult to injury, Kamala's from California. This is supposed to be Kamala country, when in point of fact, the vast majority, we're talking the super majority of rural California is ultra MAGA, and they want nothing to do with Kamala. By the way, she finally took a question from a reporter. I don't know if you heard about it. Kamala finally, after 3 weeks, took a question from a reporter. It was a relatively softball, easy question. It was basically, how are you going to pay for all these new programs you're proposing? And it went about as well as you would have thought. Take a look.
You unveiled some economic policies last week.
Yeah.
Can you explain how you're going to pay for those? And can you give us a sense of what other policies you want to unveil going forward?
Sure. Well, I mean, you just look at it in terms of what we are talking about, for example, around children and the child tax credit and extending the EITC. It's at $6,000 for the first year of a child's life. The return on that investment in terms of what that will do and what it will pay for will be tremendous. We've seen it when we did it in the first year of our administration. We reduced child poverty by over 50%. So that's a lot of the work. And then what we're doing in terms of the tax credits, we know that there's a great return on that investment. And when we increase home ownership in America, what that means in terms of increasing the tax base, not to mention property tax base, what that does to fund schools, again, return on investment. I think it's a mistake for any person who talks about public policy to not critically evaluate how you measure the return on investment. When you are strengthening neighborhoods, strengthening communities, and in particular the economy of those communities, and investing in a broad-based economy, everybody benefits, and it pays for itself.
The word salads are back. They're back. We are now unburdened from our return of investment. That's right. We're going to pay for this with a return on investment. We cannot even imagine public policy from this point forward without taking into consideration our return on investment. Now, of course, what that return on investment is anyone's guess. If Kamala was a hedge fund manager, I doubt any of us would be investing a dime in it, since we have no idea precisely what our ROI would be with word salads like that. But regardless, we are continuing to monitor the polling here, and it does look like the response bias that's been artificially inflating Kamala's polls over the last few weeks is starting to wear off. Now, again, just to be clear, let's make sure everybody understands what I'm talking about here. A response bias involves a polling sample that does not accurately reflect the overall demographics of who actually comes out to vote, either through mail or on election day. So these polls inordinately advantage Democrat constituencies in ways that are completely disproportionate to the actual voting electorate. So they are in no way predictive of what the election will actually look like. The polls are being deliberately manipulated in order to forge a narrative by the legacy media that 10 to 15% of the voting population is suddenly turning away from Trump and embracing cackles Kamala. What is absolutely emphatic for every one of us to get is that that is not happening. That is a fabricated charade. And to make matters even worse, unfortunately, August historically is a very bad month of polling for Republicans. And it's because Republicans disproportionately have families. Remember, liberals have largely stopped having kids, while Republicans are having more kids than ever. They disproportionately have families, and August is the prime season for vacations. So Republicans generally aren't around to answer the call from the pollsters. So August polls tend to historically favor Democrats. That's just a historical fact. The truth is that when polls are weighted in accordance with models that accurately reflect the voting constituency that will come out on Election Day, Trump has a very discernible lead. There's no way around. Trump continues to lead. He's had this lead for over a year now, and it's not going anywhere. Look at the latest CBS poll. Voters overwhelmingly believe that Trump is better positioned to handle the top issues concerning voters: the economy, inflation, and the southern border. I mean, gang, just look at these numbers, especially on the border. Voters trust Trump with the southern border 76 to 24. 76 to 20. Do you now see why Kamala's totally on the defensive with the southern border? This is why she's trying to convince you right now that she's a border hawk, because she knows she's getting absolutely slammed on this one issue alone. And CBS's latest poll shows that it does look as if these response bias polls are already starting to wane a bit. I mean, Trump is leading Harris in Arizona, Georgia, and North Carolina, according to CBS. The latest Emerson poll is showing Trump up by 2 in the key swing state of Pennsylvania, which is looking increasingly hard for Kamala to win, given that old Scranton Joe at least had some shot at some of the rural swing counties in Pennsylvania, whereas California Kamala is basically DOA in those counties. They're going full Trump at this point. The latest Rasmussen polling is showing Trump with a 2-point lead in Arizona. They have Michigan within the margin of error, and they have Trump up in Pennsylvania. Now, again, I just want to prepare you for what we're about to see this week going into next, as you saw at the beginning with that clown Don Lemon. The legacy media is recognizing that the response bias is starting to wear off. The polls are indeed tightening again, so they're going to pump up their efforts to try to convince you that the world is fawning over Commie Kamala this week and the next with a fabricated convention bounce. Okay? You've got to remember, listen to my words, gang. You've got to remember this. Do not be discouraged by that. That's in fact what they're trying to do. They want to discourage you with all of this. But all you got to do is just tune it out. Remember, we talked about this on Friday. We now have studies that show there is no such thing as a swing voter anymore. All of these puff polls that have been coming out of late that are trying to convince you that 10, 15% of the population has left Trump. They've abandoned Trump, and they're swinging over to Kamala. Those are all frauds. They're all frauds, and that's because we have solid data now for over 12 years. We have solid data that shows there is no such thing as a swing voter anymore. Polls don't swing that way anymore. They haven't since 2012. It's what's called a phantom swing, and it's exploited by a legacy media that pushes narrative, not news. So don't fall for it. Trump's support is rock solid. He is stronger today. I'm going to say this to you guys every day. He is stronger today than he has ever been. And I'll be here all week to help remind you of that.